Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Nutrition Tips. So, this week I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can make some changes in your refrigerator and your cabinet just by changing brands, and that'll help you make some healthier choices. The first thing I wanted to talk about is food labels. So a lot of people, they look at a food label and the first thing that they go to is the nutrition facts. How many calories, how many carbs, how many grams of fat, how many grams of protein. While that stuff is important, it's not the most important thing on that food label. What you should be looking at is the ingredient list. And in that ingredient list, you want there to be as few ingredients as possible, and you should be able to recognize those ingredients. And I'm just going to give you, if you want to grab a pen and paper or rewatch this again later, I'm going to give you a list of some ingredients that you want to avoid because they're really bad for you. So the first two things that you should avoid are artificial sweeteners, especially aspartame and sucralose. Aspartame, I think they've actually started to rename it. I'm gonna have to look that up and let you guys know. But it causes all kinds of neurological problems. It's just really bad, and they put it in a lot of foods. They put it in a lot of yogurts to sweeten. It's in diet sodas. It's in a lot of stuff. Avoid it at all costs. It's really dangerous, and I to this day cannot figure out why the FDA has approved it to be in our food. Most countries it's not approved. It's actually banned. Sucralose, also known as Splenda, is another thing you should try to avoid when you see it on a food label. High fructose corn syrup. You want to avoid hydrogenated oils. So what a hydrogenated oil is, you might know it as a trans fat. But oftentimes you might look at a food label and it'll say hydrogenated oils, but it'll say under the nutrition facts 0 grams of trans fat. The reason that is if there is less than 5 grams per serving of the trans fat, they can put 0. So less than half a gram per serving, they can put 0 grams. So if you have 2 servings of something, for instance, peanut butter that has hydrogenated oils in it, if you have 2 servings of it and there's 0.4 grams in each serving, then you've had nearly 1 gram. And you want 0 trans fats in your diet. So anything that says hydrogenated oils. Food colorings, also another thing that's banned in many countries and is not yet banned in our country. Anything like red 40, yellow 5, any of those food colorings, avoid it. Artificial flavors, BHT, and added sugars. So really anything with added sugars you want to try to avoid. If something naturally has sugar in it, fine, but when they add sugar to it, that's something you want to avoid. So let's look at a food label. I have a couple here. The one that I think is kind of best to look at is the peanut butter. So this is, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but this is a Skippy label. Skippy peanut butter, okay? I don't know if you guys see that. So maybe not. So I'm just going to read the ingredients to you. This is regular Skippy. Ingredients are roasted peanuts, sugar, hydrogenated vegetable oils, and salt. Okay? So this has trans fats in it. Even though it says 0 grams of trans fat on the nutrition facts, because that says hydrogenated oils, that's got trans fats in it. Okay, so some people think, well, I'm gonna go the healthy route, and I'm gonna get reduced fat Skippy because it's better for me. Okay? So let's read those ingredients. We have roasted peanuts, corn syrup solids, which is sugar. So now we've got 2 sugars, second 2 ingredients. soy protein concentrate, salt, hydrogenated vegetable oil, mono and diglycerides, minerals, and vitamins. Okay? So this is in the supposedly healthier reduced fat Skippy. What you should be looking for in a peanut butter. Teddy, this is my favorite. They have smooth, they have super crunchy, they have one with flaxseed in it. But ideally, what you want to look for in your peanut butter, 2 ingredients, peanuts and salt. That's it. Sugar does not belong in peanut butter. Trans fats do not belong in peanut butter. All those extras do not belong in peanut butter. Peanuts and salt. Now the thing with this, a lot of people don't like it because when you open it, there's oil on the top. That's because their separation oil is natural in peanut oil. Stir it in. That's all you gotta do. Just stir it in. What you can do is when you get home from the store, store it upside down, and the oil will go to the top, or to the bottom now. It'll make it easier and less messy to stir when you do open it. Stir it, put it in the fridge, and the oil won't separate again. Much healthier. There's a couple different brands I know that are out there. I think Trader Joe's has a brand that's just peanuts and salt. I don't care what brand it is. 2 ingredients, peanuts and salt. The other thing, an easy switch to make, your bread. So when you're buying bread, you want to look for 100% whole wheat or 100% whole grain. The first ingredient should be whole wheat flour, or whatever the grain is. It should be whole flour, not refined flour. If the first ingredient is refined, then it's not whole wheat or whole grain. Skip it. There's a lot of really good brands out there. Arnold makes a lot of whole wheat breads that are really good. Sprouted bread, Ezekiel, that's what I use. Also very good. You could switch from sliced bread to things like sandwich thins or pita pockets. Usually the sandwich thin or half of a pita pocket is 100 calories. So instead of using 2 slices of bread, you use 1 sandwich thin, and you're cutting the calories in half by doing that. So those are just a couple of ideas of switches you can make. Also, yogurt is another big one. If you compare regular yogurt to Greek yogurt, you're going to see a big difference in protein. So the Greek yogurts are going to have about 13 to 16 grams of protein per serving, where regular yogurt's going to have maybe 5 grams of protein per serving. So that added protein in the Greek yogurt is going to keep you full longer. So that's a good choice. When you do choose yogurt, you want to go for the plain, 0% fat, and then you can add your own fruit, add your own berries, add your own little bit of raw honey. You want to choose raw local honey, not the stuff that comes in the teddy bear from the grocery store. That's not real honey. So you want to use your own sweeteners, your own homemade granola, your own fruit, or just plain. If you add them to smoothies or something like that, is a great idea. But try to avoid the yogurts that have fruit already in them. The last thing I wanted to talk about is Shakeology. So I know there's been a lot of talk on the page lately about Shakeology. You probably see a lot of people drinking it. You may be wondering what it is, why it's beneficial. So I'm just going to say a few words about Shakeology. So what Shakeology is it's a meal replacement. It is not a protein powder. It has about 16 grams of protein per serving and about 16 to 17 grams of carbohydrates per serving. So it's a really good balance. The reason why Shakeology is so good is they've packed in an immense amount of nutrition into this one supplement. Now, as a dietitian, I was always against supplements. I was always against protein powders, even against like vitamins. Unless it's somebody who's, compromised and needs a multivitamin, I was always a firm believer you can get it from food. But I did a lot of research on Shakeology because I really wanted to understand what this was about and if their claims were true. And I really couldn't find anything wrong with it. And I could only find awesome things about it. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what's in it and why it's beneficial. So like I said, it's a meal replacement. So this would be, if you could choose a meal, breakfast, like I had talked about last week, breakfast, lunch, dinner, choose one meal, a snack, and replace it with Shakeology. Choose that one that you struggle with and replace it with Shakeology. And it's really good. It's almost like having a treat because it tastes so good. I know a lot of people have a hard time at the end of the day with snacking and overindulging at the end of the day. That could be a great time to have your Shakeology. Is when you tend to overdo it and go and eat through all your cabinets. So just a little bit about what's in it. So there's a lot of proteins and amino acids in it. We have a vegan Shakeology and a regular Shakeology. The regular one uses whey protein along with some other plant-based proteins, and then the vegan one does not use the whey protein. It uses pea proteins and other plant-based proteins. It also has 23 vitamins and minerals in it. So it's basically, if you're taking a multivitamin and you start drinking Shakeology, you can probably stop using the multivitamin because you're going to get too much of these vitamins if you're doing both. But I would take a look at what's in the Shakeology and what's in your multivitamin, and make sure you're not missing anything. But you're going to get pretty much everything you need as far as vitamins and minerals in the Shakeology. Antioxidants, so you hear about antioxidants all over the place. Acai berries, bilberries, blueberries, goji berries, pomegranates, green tea. They're antioxidants. It's the new rage. Everybody's talking about the newest and best, super berry that's out there. Well, Shakeology has them all. And they're really good for protecting your body from growth of cancer and cell damage. Phytonutrients. So these are really important for immune functioning and kind of flushing and detoxifying the body. Prebiotics and probiotics. So this is what you're going to think of like yogurt. Yogurt has probiotics in it. They're active live cultures. It's healthy bacteria. So they put these right in the Shakeology. So it basically promotes your gut health. Digestive enzymes. These are just enzymes that are in there that help your body to digest the food that you do eat and absorb those nutrients efficiently. So there's a ton of great stuff in the Shakeology. They don't use anything artificial. They don't use artificial sweeteners or added sugars. They use stevia to sweeten, which is all natural and safe. So I just wanted to let you guys kind of give you an idea of what it was and what it's all about and why we love it so much. If you've been reading posts and stuff, we've seen people come off of their cholesterol meds, come off of their blood pressure meds, lose weight. I have a friend that has leukemia, and her numbers have been great since she's been drinking it. We have another person in one of the extended groups who has MS, who's been, she swears by it, and her functioning has been a lot better since she's been drinking it. And these are just a few examples. And it may not be for everybody, but I just wanted I think it's important for people to be educated on what it is, since you probably do see it a lot, and we are talking about it a lot. People may have a lot of questions about it and may be afraid to ask. So if you have any more questions about it, feel free to ask. I'm happy to talk to anyone, and I think any of the coaches would be happy to talk to you about what it is and if it's a good idea for you or not. So I think that's it for this week, and I hope everybody's going to be joining us in the next group starting next Monday. If you are, stay tuned for more nutrition tips. And remember, you can just make some simple changes just by changing the brand of foods that are in your cabinets. Read the food labels, read the ingredient lists, make sure you recognize those ingredients, and just switch out unhealthy foods for healthy foods in that way. And stay tuned. Let's kill this last week, you guys.